Good morning, Professor. This is Alari.
This is Jia.
Today, we'd like to share with you our presentation on the movie Castaways, more than a survival story. This film is not just about one man surviving on an island. It's a deep and emotional journey that reflects powerful human qualities like leadership, problem solving, and adaptability. That Castaways earned Tom Hanks an Oscar nomination for Best Actor in 2000 and a Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Drama. In the film, Chuck Nolan, a FedEx executive, has his life turned upside down, deserted island for years and forced to survive without tools, shelters, or human contact. He faces not only physical hardship, but also the deep psychological effects of isolation. Reason to listen. Castaway is more than a survival story. It explores how leadership, problem solving, and strategic decision making help us adapt and overcome adversity. Castaway uses a survival story to examine deeper human traits such as leadership, decision making, and the need for a connection, all of which reflect border principle in psychology and teamwork. Chuck's main points. Chuck's leadership at FedEx before the crash, problem solving on the island. His strategic decision to escape the island after 4 years. Let me begin with a quick background. In this clip, he's testing the FedEx delivery system by mailing a package to himself. The result shows how much he cares about time and performance. Let's watch.
That's how long we have. Two lines. One to the airport truck, one to the Moscow truck. Nikolai, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. 50 seconds! When that clock hits zero, you send this truck. I don't care if Lenin himself comes out of his tomb with a priority package. I absolutely positively have to get to Memphis tonight. We'll do our best.
Our main character, Chucks, works as a system analyst executive at FedEx, and he takes his job very seriously. In this scene, he is in Russia trying to improve the delivery speed of the local FedEx hub. When he opens a test package, he finds a clock inside, and the type shows that the delivery took 87 hours, 22 minutes, and 70 seconds. Chuck is clearly not impressed. He even calls it a shame because for him that kind of delay is totally unacceptable. This moment shows us a lot about Chuck's leadership style. His he's a person of discipline, strict schedules, and high standards. He doesn't just talk about efficiency. He measures it, tests it, and pushes for a result. Chuck leads by example, using real world data to drive improvements. And this is why he is such a perfect fit for a global logistics company like FedEx.
Let's move on to our second main point, Chuck's problem-solving skill on the island. Before we watch the clip, here a little bit of background. Chuck was in the middle of Kramer's dinner when he got an urgent page from FedEx. So he rushed out to catch a cargo flight to Malaysia. The plane took off from Tennessee, but unfortunately, it crashed in the middle of the Pacific Ocean during a violent storm. Chuck was the only survivor. He was left all alone on a remote island, cut off from the world, with no food no tools, and no human contact. So in the next scene, we will watch one of his first major challenge, making fire. So you will see how hard is it. He struggles, injures his hand, and gets frustrated, but most importantly, he doesn't give up. This moment really shows how he begins to problem solving in extreme condition. So let's watch.
The air got to it. The air got to it! Fire! There you go! Light it up! Come on! The torn to have the dead and through! Ouch! The torn and water in the fire! Runner, we can only lose! The girl, we couldn't get much higher! Come on, baby, light my fire! There you go! Here you go! It's a signal fire!
After watching the clip, we can see that making fire wasn't easy. Chang fell again and again, and even hurt himself, but he didn't give up. That moment shows how he starts to develop real problem-solving skill in an unfamiliar and life-threatening situation. So fire becomes so much more than just a warmth. First, it allows him to cook seafood, which gives him strength after eating raw food for days. It helps him stay warm through cold tropical nights, something we don't usually think about on a sunny island. So mentally, fire becomes a symbol of hope, a reminder that he still had control over something. And later on, he even used fire to burn and shape palm trees, which helped him build the raft that eventually got him off the island. This shows us that problem solving is not just about quick thinking. It's about being persistent, learning from mistakes, and finding new ways to use limited resources. So in Chuck's case, fire was his first major breakthrough, and it set the stage for everything he figured out afterward. Now let's take a look at the most critical decision Trunks makes in the entire movie, his choice to leave the island. So after 4 years alone, Trunks realized that no one is coming. He reached a point where surviving isn't enough anymore. He's not just trying to stay alive, he wants to reclaim control over his future. So the next clip shows how Chunk moved from that realization to making a plan and finally taking action, even if it means risking his life at sea. So let's watch.
Okay. Here we go, Wilson. You don't have to worry about anything. I'll do all the paddling. You you just hang on? Not yet! Hold on! Not yet! Not yet! Not yet! Stand by, Wilson! Hold on! Hold on, Wilson! I think we did it!
After watching that scene, so we can really see how Chuck's decision to leave the island wasn't made lightly. It was a result of a long and thoughtful process. So first, he realized the problem. No one was coming to rescue him. He realized that staying on the island may keep him alive, but it also means he'd be stuck there forever. And then he began to gather information. He carefully observed the tide and the weather, and that wasn't just about the hope, it was about the strategy. And he then evaluated his options: stay and survive longer, or risk death at sea with a small chance of escape. It was a huge gamble, but it was one he was finally ready to take. So over the next few months, Trunk made a plan. He gathered logs, built a raft, created a sail, and stored food and water. Everything he did had a purpose. And finally, he took action. He waited for the light tide and set off, knowing it might be his only chance. That moment marked a turning point in his journey. Trump's decisions show us that good decision making isn't about being lucky, it's about being prepared, persistent, and brave enough to take a risk when it matters most. Alright, to wrap things up, here's a quick review of what we talked about today. First, we look at Trump's leadership at FedEx. He was efficient, focused, and driven by deadline. Then we move into his problem solving on the island. So how he learned to survive with nothing using creativity and persistence. Finally, we explore his decision to escape, where he took a huge risk and showed us what it means to take control of his future. Conclusion: Modern survival. Castaway isn't just a story about one man's struggle to survival, it's a powerful reflection of human spirit. Through leadership, problem solving, decision making, and the emotional need for connection, Trunk's experience shows that with creativity and determination, we can find a solution, even when everything feels lost. Like a mirror held up to real life, this film goes far beyond the island. It speaks to who we are, how we solve problems, how we adapt, and what it truly means to endure. Thank you
Thank you for watching. Bye.